Alright, so now we get into handstands, and if you just picked up a controller for the first time, then to get into handstand you do forward 1 plus 2, you get in a handstand. I remember in like the old Tekkens, like Tekken 3, Tekken Tag, like he could actually walk, but you can't walk while in handstand anymore. That'd be really hilarious. Certain moves can also transition into handstand, like 1, 2, forward, down forward 3, forward 3, forward 4, back. Like there are more moves that go into handstand that doesn't go into handstand, and it would take an entire video to say every single transition, so we're just gonna like say that there's a lot of moves that go into handstand, like, you know, even this, but there's way too many moves. Okay, so handstand 1 is power crush. It's hits mid, and it's not the worst thing in the world if it's blocked because it's -11, and on hit it causes a knockdown, so it leads to the many Ogi options that we've just discussed. All in all, like, the opponent has to block high because it's a mid, but chances are, since you're in handstand, for some reason everyone's going to think you're going to hit low from a handstand, even though he has more moves that hit mid and high from handstand than moves that hit lows. It's just the Eddy stigma, like everything you do is a low. But it's not the worst move on block, it's not the best power crush, but you know, it's okay, it's there. In the older Tekken games, this used to be his bound move, so I'm pretty glad that it got reworked. Handstand 2 is his flop. It is 18 frames, safe on block, and this is even safer if you lead it into handstand 2-4 because it has the same properties as if you're doing sidestep 4, so everything is permitted, like 2-3, like 4-3, 4-3 plus 4. Everything is the same as if you were doing sidestep 4. So be careful of the parry if you do go for the safer option, because if people respect you too much, it can get parried. Handstand 3 is the same as what I just said about sidestep 3. It's 32 frames though. You can do the same thing as before. You know, everything that you could do from sidestep 3 you could do from handstand 4. And 3-4 is slippery kicks. Handstand 4 is the 12 frame mid I was talking to you about. It's the fastest move from handstand pose, but the second hit is high. That barely matters because, as you can see here, like, I'm gonna have him crouch. It jails. Like, okay, guard all. Fuck it. It jails. So, there's literally nothing that Eddy can do. Not Eddy, there's nothing that, like, an opponent can do because it jails. So, if the first hit is on block, then they gotta respect it. And it's also safe on block. So, you can, like, get a couple of handstand 4s in until they wise up and they, you know, do something. Also on hit, it knocks down, you know, so that's also good. 3 plus 4, it's 28 frames, so it's one of the slowest throws in the game, but it's one of the few throws in the game that is completely untechable. Like, the only way to avoid this throw is by ducking, because the move counts as an attack. That's why you see high. Like, the move counts as an attack. Like, this doesn't, yeah, okay, it also counts as a high. I'm special. But yeah, like, it's one of the few untechable throws in the game. But it's slow, and, you know, like I said, most people are going to be crouching anyway because they're going to expect you to, like, do a low anyway. But this is a move that I would do when an opponent has respected me and I've conditioned an opponent enough to the point where they will stop blocking low for every little thing that I do. So when they start blocking high or they start going high, then I start pulling this out. It's free 40 damage if you can, like, get it off, especially since it's untechable. but you can't get punished. It's definitely punishable if the opponent ducks it. And you have the, if you hold down, he goes into a duck stance, kind of like how Xiaoyu has Art of Phoenix and she can duck from that. The same exact properties almost. And just like Xiaoyu with Art of Phoenix ducking, he has a launcher from this. So it's just a BS launcher. Just a BS launcher. So you can launch from it. It's safe too, relatively safe. It's also 16 frames. It doesn't look 16 frames, but it's also 16 frames. So that's like Eddy's second fastest move. A launcher. Who would have thought? I lied. This is also tied for Eddy's second fastest move, and it's down 3 or up 3 or whatever. I like down 3 because you're gonna have to hold down anyway to go into relax. So yeah, it's safe when you go into relax. If you just press nothing and you go into handstand, it's not overly safe. But if you're at a distance, see, Eddy doesn't really budge and the opponent gets pushed back on hit. So you know, it's not the worst thing in the world if a person blocks it, but it's really safe. It's safe if you go into relax. And he has this, which is a low poke. It's pretty stealthy. You can't really see it. It's not really safe on block, but you know, it's there. Also, to get out of handstand, you can tilt forward to, he does a little like tilt and he like backs out. If you hold down, I believe, you can go into crouch from it, depending, no matter what. If he stops, oh yeah, and if you like hold like back, you know, you could dance. If you like, if you like time it, like, you know, if you want to like BM your opponent, if you want to disrespect your opponent, you can do that. But like, it doesn't matter if you tilt it to up, if you tilt it to the foreground, tilt it to the background, you can hold down and you can go into crouch. So this could lead it to other mix-up opportunities. So like, you lead into that. If you don't hold down, then you just goes into standing. So that's it for handstands. Relax. So the dreaded relax. This is 17 frames. It is unsafe on block. This is less safe, not like much safer. Oh yeah, then go into relax, you know, you down 3+4. And like many moves go into relax, you know, a lot of moves. More, like I said, there's gonna be more moves that go into relax than moves that doesn't. So this is kind of safe, I guess. This is what you want to do if you want to like fish for more damage, because they're gonna have to block low. If they block low, or if they don't low parry and they just block low, then they're gonna have to block high. So say you get hit with this, chances are they're gonna be like, oh shit, I got hit with a low. Let me block low. Nope. You get hit with it, so you have to go low and then high. Eventually, people that know Eddy, they're gonna know, which is why you go for. Wait a minute. Yeah, you see this, right? Well, that's the whole thing. But you see this, right? So, if you stay low and you go for this, they could completely, like, you know, duck the second hit, since this is the same thing as back 4 to an extent. So just be mindful about it. Relax 2 is 20 frames. It's a mid, and it's a good mix up for this, because if they're gonna throw this out, then, you know, they're gonna try and do a low parry. But if they duck, then they get hit with this, which is natural combo. Like, I believe it's natural combo. Let me just double check. Guard all. No, it's not. It's natural combo on counter hit. I'm certain of this. Yeah, it's natural combo on counter hit. The other transition, I don't think so. That's not natural combo at all. but it is an option. It's just that it's slightly less safer to go into block. It's slightly more safer, I'm sorry, to go into handstand than to just go into this, because if a person blocks this, you're dead. He also has 3, which is the 16th Frame Low. And this is a guaranteed move after some combos. I'll get to that later when I actually get into combos, but this is a 16 frame low and it's guaranteed combo ender for most combos. I'll get into that later. He has this, which I don't believe is natural combo. It's not natural combo. Like, there's no real reason to use this. Like, they're gonna have to, once again, block low and then block high, just like they got to block low and high for this. However, this comes out much faster than 1-3, much slower than 1-3. So if you do this, you know, just be mindful that they can block it. It is safe on block because it's effectively just this. So it is safe on block. So if you get hit, if they block this, then you can just go into this, hopefully fish for a knockdown, or try to go for the best case scenario into a safe move. And you have Relax 4, which is the safest move, not safest, the fastest move that Eddy has from Relax. It's 15 frames. It's homing, and it causes a tailspin when you use it in a combo, like you saw me do several times. Sometimes this is the only option that you get from Relax. And this is also useful for certain combo enders. Once again, I'll get to that when I get to actual combos. You can transition from this into a handstand, which makes this safe on block, because on block this is not safe, but this makes this safe on block if you go into the handstand. So to go into the handstand, naturally, you go into this, it basically is like this to an extent. But to go into the handstand variant, you press 4-3 plus 4. 4-3 plus 4 goes into this. If you go into the handstand variant, it's 4-3 plus 4, 3. So 4-3 plus 4, 3. It's a lot of buttons to press, but this is like the safest option you can go for from this if they decide to block it, pretty much. Now we have actual other moves, but before we go into the launches, he has Crying Needle from Relax, which is, you could see 1 plus 2, just like Crying Needle from Crouch, exact same thing. He has 3 plus 4, just like standing 3 plus 4. Exact same thing. You even get a free well, not really a free down 4 as you would from standing 4 because of the angle. You could go into Oki. I don't know, it's not as great as this, but you know, it's there. Lastly, you have 4-3 plus 4, which is also from handstand. That's the move I forgot from handstand. Alright, so from handstand you can do 4-3 plus 4, which is 20 frames, which you can do some pretty long range posts from here. Another move I forgot to mention is that you can cancel from handstand with forward 1, which is a punch, and you could, like, you know, do things as if you were doing standing 1-2, something like that. It's 20 frames instead of 10 frames, so it's a 10 frame jab that's 20 frames, but because of the roll, it crushes most highs because you're going, like, you know, for the 10 frames you're, like, you know, rolling. So then we go into the launchers to close this out. So for the launchers, you have 4-3, which, yeah, 4-3, which is the low launcher. It's 15 frames, so it's about the same speed as this, but it's 15 frames. And then you have this, which is 18 frames. So for this, it's crazy unsafe on block, and most savvy players will expect this and they will low parry your ass. From this is also crazy unsafe on block, and most savvy players will expect this and they'll block high. Which means that most savvy players will have to guess whether or not you're going to go low or you're going to go high from here. Because eventually you're going to want to cash it in. You're going to want to cash in the big bucks. You're going to want to cash in the launcher. So when you decide to eventually cash in, do you want to go low or do you want to go high? I'm saying low and high a lot. I'm not talking about the Tekken player. Shoutouts to low high. Shoutouts to Shaheen. Shaheen is a really cool character. But they're put in a 50-50 situation. If you guess right, then you get rewarded with the big payout. If you guess wrong, you're going to die more often than not. So yeah, this is to close out this part of the video. We talked about most of his moves. There are some moves that I didn't mention, like this. There are pretty much other moves I forgot to mention. But I'll cover anything I didn't mention in the next video, because the next video is gonna be like a roundup and combos and other information. Just me going off, basically, like what I'm doing now. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.